Hello team, thank you very much for meeting with me today. Today we are going to be discussing our new social media strategy for LinkedIn, who our target audiences are going to be, what those demographics are, our objectives both mid and long term and short term, and just generally everything about our strategy, getting into the nitty gritty of the details and hopefully getting you guys excited for what we have planned for the future. Since you guys are all already employees of LinkedIn, I'm going to be very brief about this. We have a variety of social media presences like on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and these are all to the end of promoting our brand, but have been a bit unfocused up until now on their clear message and on our overall brand voice. The critical problem is that we lack both a general social media direction and we also lack a clear voice. We also are just a bit too subtle with our presentation and are not targeting specific demographics, enticing them in to our site to turn them into users, and looking forward into the future to establish ourselves with these younger groups so that we don't slide into irrelevancy or lose usership. To be more specific, our problem is that our current social media presence is extremely unfocused. Our objective, our new objective moving forward with this plan, is to establish ourselves as an industry leader in professional networking, job finding, and course finding. A lot of people underestimate the fact that LinkedIn has a variety of courses, a plethora, some might even say, of courses about various skill sets from PowerPoint to Excel to other professional specific education. But before we get into what we have to offer specifically, let's get into our target audiences and demographics. We are going to be targeting younger demographics, specifically younger millennials and Gen Z. Gen Z spends about 6 hours per day on average on their phone, and a not insignificant proportion of that, in fact, over half, is spent on social media. We are going to attempt to show these people, these demographics, that investing in their future, meaning investing in their professional network, is a great step in setting themselves up in a good way for their future, mid or especially long term. To be even more specific, we are targeting individuals aged from about 18 to 28. This is the range of people who are most accessible based on current social media techniques, and this is who we will be going after. But to reach these individuals, we need a more refined, a more developed, and a more focused brand voice. Our brand voice has up until now been different across a variety of channels depending on the needs of these channels. On Instagram, there's a bit of a different flair than, let's say, on Facebook, which is a bit older and a bit more established. We need to center these voices into one outlook, and not one that sounds like it was written by a marketer, but maybe a voice that is more youthful yet professional. Our social media presences on these platforms across these channels should exude this youthful professionalism and confidence with ease so that people don't accuse us of trying to be inauthentic. Being inauthentic would be about the worst thing that we could do for this social media strategy. So I think that we should use influencers who are within this space to promote our message, in addition to creating our own original content. This is absolutely crucial on social media too. Being authentic for us means being truthful about what our brand is about. What is LinkedIn really about? It's about connecting people across the world on a professional level, broadening and strengthening people's professional networks. Starting from this perspective, we could create a variety of original content, especially across Instagram's Reels, TikToks, YouTube's Shorts, which are all vertical, scrollable, short form content that's about 60 seconds to a minute 30. This is the most effective medium for conveying our message, and by unifying our approach, we are also able to unify the mediums through which we are trying to reach people. Our insights and benchmarks for these will be insanely simple. Obviously, social media is incredibly dynamic and it is very difficult to predict specific results with any true accuracy. Though, looking 6 to 10 months into the future and applying some of the techniques that we already know, like creating short form, vertical, original content, it is clear to see that we will experience growth. And these metrics are trackable on all the platforms that we plan to operate on. Instagram, for example, offers a special level of privilege to business accounts, of which our LinkedIn Instagram profile is one. This means that for free, we can look into our own metrics, see levels of engagement, see levels of reach, even see certain demographics as a percent breakdown of the total. This could be a gender-based breakdown and an age-based breakdown, or even geolocation, depending on the permissions that were activated on the part of the users who consumed our content. All of this should help inform our future-facing strategy, and the more data that we get, the more deeply refined our message can become, increasing with effectiveness over time, and on it goes. The execution of this has to be subtle. If all of a sudden we completely change our voice and start instantly pumping out stuff across all platforms, it's going to look a little bit weird. A more measured approach, in other words, ramping up over time with a slightly changing voice as we transition into this new era, in addition to slowly ramping up our content and creating more and more stuff, slowly evolving the image of our brand on social media, of LinkedIn as a company on social media, is a much more smooth, streamlined way of approaching the problem. And I believe that this is the approach that we should take so as to minimize confusion and minimize backlash. In conclusion, looking 6 to 10 months into the future across our social media channels, again, this is Instagram, Twitter or X, YouTube, Facebook, we will experience a marked difference in the public perception of LinkedIn as a company through creating original content, promoting our message through influencers, and just generally getting younger demographics excited and interested in what we have to offer, which is a lot. Courses, professional networking opportunities, jobs. Job listings are across our site everywhere, and you can even set filters. All of these things are very attractive to people, but we just have to get our message out there so that people know what our company has to offer them. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. Let's get out there.